who joins us from there. Irris, just bring us up to date then. The Israeli army saying in the last hour or so this raid is officially over now.
Yes, by about 2 a.m., according to Israeli media reports, the last Israeli soldiers left. One Israeli soldier killed during that pullout. It's always interesting how just towards the end there's a flare-up, and we did see more fierce fighting just in the hours before the Israeli soldiers pulled out than we had seen maybe for the whole of that day, really. And when you look back at that, 12 Palestinian fighters killed, one Israeli fighter, those weapons taken out of there, so much destruction in that tiny, crowded Jenin refugee camp, and people who left their homes, the grandchildren and great-grandchildren of refugees from 1948, who left their homes, evacuated for a couple of days, returning now to see what's left for them. And will there be a political result to this? We'll discuss that soon.
Also had rocket fire, haven't we, Irris, from the Gaza Strip into Israel. Israel early this morning responding with airstrikes.
That's right. I mean, it's something else that we've seen mostly from Gaza. When an operation in Gaza is coming to an end, an Israeli military raid there's always what they call the last battery, where they just they fire rockets into Israel, even though there's a ceasefire talks and even though there's an agreement. And there's a feeling that what we saw was that last battery coming not from Jenin, but from Gaza. 5 rockets believed to have been fired by Islamic Jihad. That is not clear. Israel said it doesn't matter who fired them. Hamas is responsible. It is the authority in the Gaza Strip, and they bombed Hamas targets overnight.
Irris, analyse it for us then. Another spate of Middle East violence. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, warning already that this is not yet over.
No, he said this is not the last operation. And, you know, perhaps that's a realistic view, because it was this cycle of violence, this repetitive cycle of violence that led to the peace talks in the 1990s, because the belief was it'll never end militarily. There has to be another way. And that has never been Benjamin Netanyahu's view. He says this Jewish nation will stand on its sword, by its sword, for all its time here. And I guess if you leave the negotiating table, if you leave diplomacy, then all you're left with is this cycle of violence, which in the last 12 to 18 months now has really been escalating. So in one way, I suppose it was realistic.
Irris, thanks very much. Irris Makler, our correspondent, talking to me there live.